what we've done in the last little while. We're always kind of maybe working on some new landing pages, maybe working on some ideas that we have for this COVID thing. We sent out an email, I believe, yesterday to everybody that has a recap of all the things that we've done so far, which is the landing pages, the discussions, the webinars we've had with the previous people, so you guys can kind of grab them real quick. The idea that we had last time, which was to put together the mortgage deferral information, or maybe make a landing page for mortgage deferral, we figured out after speaking to the mortgage agent that it's going to be really hard for us to really figure out the specific details of each bank to actually make one calculator for all. So what we did there was we compiled a list of all the banks and their calculators, and then we email that to you guys so you can possibly just copy the links to those banks and email that to your clients as one of the things that you could do. Outside of that, everything else is that Crystal is doing with the webinars. You guys have full access to the Facebook group. For all the clients that have access to Facebook group, you just pop in there, everything is there. And if you don't have access to Facebook group, we haven't right now the link directly inside of our support ticket. So anytime you send a ticket support, the automatic responses include that link to the Facebook group as well. And then Crystal can post it here too, so we can have it. What we'll do, Jim, is, and thank you so much for being on again, or on and actually speaking. You and I had a chat for the first time just the last week, and I thought it was a good idea to have you on.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're most welcome. I know Jim is also working on tell us a little bit about what you're working on for the agents and for kind of creating a system.
Yeah, about a year ago, I woke up. I was very transactional. I've been in this for 10 years and was very transactional. I guess something woke me up. I started talking to other agents in my office, had a lot of conversations about what they do, and decided I was going to change the way I do things. And so I started looking around at marketing and came across the whole idea of a value journey, and it really resonated with me. So I fit that into the way I do business.
Right.
I created a marketing journey for my clients, right from the point they come into my business, right to the point where they leave, but they never leave, of course. And really what I learned from that is where I really lacked was at the very end of the journey. I wasn't creating promoters. I wasn't creating clients who promoted my business. So I had to go back and rethink the way I did things. And AgentLocator is all part of that, because a very important part of the journey is bringing people into your community. And building community is the first stage. So there's 3 stages. There's building community, there's providing service, and there's creating a legacy.
Right.
So building community is all about bringing people in and bringing them in to be part of your community. So the way I work with AgentLocator now is different than when I did it last year. I did it differently.
Yep.
Now it's more about bringing people in and making them part of my community rather than being transactional.
Right.
Transactions, I'm just bringing people in who I want to be part of my community.
Right.
And hopefully I will be the agent who's standing in front of them when they make the decision to buy or sell. And I've really learned over my 10 years that that's so important, because I get about 40% of my business from open houses. And I've taken many, many clients in open houses who have had agents and yet started working with me because I was the agent in front of them at the time they decided to make the decision. So for me, it's very important when I bring somebody in an AgentLocator, I try to make contact quickly, and then I keep in touch with them. And I do that not just by phone calls, but also I use BombBomb. So right away, everybody that I've got the system set up so that everybody goes into BombBomb. And so they're going to get a monthly update from me.
So I've got actually some very direct questions and very specific questions, and I'm sure our clients are going to have some as well in regards to your process. So that would, I'm really glad you're kind of going through that process. And I have a list of questions here that I haven't actually even told you what they are.
Okay.
They're very specific questions about lead generation in specific and lead conversion in specific.
Yep.
One of the things that we realized with internet leads specifically over the longest time, I've been doing this now for 9 years, and right from the get-go when we started doing it, we started realizing agents are having a hard time converting these leads. And that's a general issue across the board. So from all the clients that we have 74 people on here right now. First off, let's do a quick tech check. We want to make sure you guys are hearing us okay. I know there's a couple of questions in here saying, was the volume okay? Can you just in the chat say yes, yes, yes? Are you hearing us okay? So we can make sure we at least have you guys perfect. Grace says yes. Awesome. Smita says yes. Dennis, yes. Harbinger, Julie, Dirk, Sarah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So now that you hear us, I want to make sure that, I'm here with you guys, and I'm hearing the same stories. I've been hearing them now for 9 years. That the problem is the conversion process. The problem is the conversion process, and it's always been the conversion process. That's generally what it is. And I know for a fact, I know this 1,000,000%, I wouldn't be in this business if leads didn't work. Jim knows leads work. We know leads work. Now we need to make sure that we convey that to the real estate agents that internet leads do work. And it's common. It's natural that when somebody fails at something, and typically an agent fails internet leads and says the leads are shit. Well, of course the leads are shit. They are shit. And we're always going to blame the source. We're never going to blame ourselves. But 99% of the time, the problem is in the follow-up, and the problem is really not creating a proper flow to follow up with the leads. And that's where a lot of times agents fail. So I want to ask some very specific questions. I want to ask some tough questions with regards to internet leads, and really give the agents an idea of whether they should ever get into this stuff or whether they should. I want to actually get as many people to not ever go on internet leads as we do to get them to go on, because I want them to fully understand what it really truly takes to close an internet lead. So those are the key things that I want to make sure. I mean, we've had a lot of people that, honestly, Jim, that try internet leads have never done a cold call in their life, or never really spoken to a colder lead. The best way that I would describe internet leads to people is to say, an internet lead is somebody who's gone online, raised their saying that I am looking for a home. We have no idea when they're going to buy, and they're not submitting their information for you to contact them. They're submitting their information because they have to, but at least we know that they're looking for a home. And now we have to open that conversation up with them so we can actually get to talk to them and find out what they're looking for, and maybe do they even want to work with us or not. And that kind of gets determined in a very quick time span. So having said that,
just let me interject here.
Please,
because,
yes.
I was one of those people who thought internet leads are shit. I was one of those people. And it was because I didn't have the concept of building community. I was, right. Like I said, I was very transactional. I was just looking for the transaction. Right. And if you're doing internet leads and you're just looking for transactions, you're going to be disappointed because they don't come that quickly. It takes time to build. I'm just going to tell you a quick story. I was making my phone calls yesterday. I connected with a guy. He's been on my system for a couple of weeks, and I finally connected with him. He said, "Hi, Jim, how are you? How are things going?" He talked to me like he knew me. He has seen 2 of my videos from BombBomb. One was a update. One was just a monthly newsletter. He was talking to me like he knew me because he'd seen those videos. I went back, checked. He had watched both those videos 100%. So that follow-up that I do is paying off.
And that leads me to that's amazing. And that leads me to the very first question, and one of the most important questions is the process of the follow-up. So Jim, what would you say, and what is your current process of follow-up? Can we go through a scenario? Can we go through a lead? And I asked you this if it was okay. We have the ability in our system that we hide any personal information in a lead. So I can actually share a screen and we can open up a lead and kind of go through that process. Would that be okay with you?
Yep, for
Awesome.
sure.
So I'll share the screen. I have it open already here, and I have the squiggly stuff already on, so people cannot see your leads and see your contact info. Let me go here, share, and let's go to your CRM. Okay. So we'll go with, is there any lead here in particular maybe that you want to pick? And I know you can't see the names, but I'm not sure if you can, from main
Yeah,
contact perspective.
I've got something in front of me here, so let me just pull something,
Okay.
see what I find. Okay, can you find
What's your name?
Gregory?
What's your first name?
Gregory
Greg
came
or
in a few days ago.
Gregory. So, okay, so this is probably it. So if you look at the screen, I can't see Gregory's name, but I see that you've had 2 SMS messages to him. This is it.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and open up the lead. So could we go over what the process has been? So just so everybody knows, for those of you that don't know, this is a lead that we've generated for Jim through Google. This is somebody who was on Google searching for homes for sale. He ended up going to one of his websites, and then while he was browsing, he was forced to register to the website, meaning that he had to provide the information to Jim. And then when that lead came in, from the looks of it here, we attempted sending them an SMS message, but was this a home number, Jim?
Yep.
Okay, so that's interesting. For those of you that don't know, so our system does automatically try to qualify the lead by sending them an SMS message. And obviously, if it's a home phone number, we cannot send a message to that. So that failed. So then maybe you take it from here, Jim, so that you can
Yeah,
help
I
us
think
understand.
I've made 2 calls to Gregory just to connect with him. Just gonna just have a quick look at my notes here.
Yeah.
Um, the first call I make to people now, I really debated about how I was going to do this, but when I came at this from the point of building community, the more contacts I make with them, the better. So, some people say, you shouldn't say anything on the first call, don't leave a voicemail. I leave a voicemail.
Okay.
So I leave the voicemail and say, hey, welcome to the system. I hope you're getting the emails. I want to make sure everything's working for you. If you've got any questions, feel free to call, text, or email me. Thanks for your time. I'll be in touch.
Right.
Okay, so that's my first call if it's a voicemail. Then my second call, I connected with him and we got to talk about what he was looking for, why he was coming to Calgary, he's moving from Montreal, why he's going to be moving, and basically, what kind of property he's looking for. And he got into talking about foreclosures and things like that. And I said, you know what I can do? I can just set you up on a direct MLS, and we can set up a portal for you. And
Right.
I can give you all the foreclosures in that price range,
Okay.
and still that'd be great. So I set him up on that. And then, of course, after I make contact with someone, the first thing I do is set up a follow-up. So
Okay.
I create a follow-up task. So this one, what does it say? Follow-up search. I'm setting up a search for him.
Right.
And I'm gonna call him again next month.
Right. So this is set for May.
He's a few months away, so I'm not gonna be calling him all the time.
Him.
So he's a few months away. So
okay.
So now I've set up that follow-up search for him. I will call him just to make sure everything's working okay on it.
Right.
But I have a follow-up set for later on next month as well. And he's also now automatically went in to get my BombBomb emails. So he's going to get video emails a couple of times a month as well.
Okay. So then it's fair to assume that your first process is when a lead comes in, you're letting the SMS system send out a message. If it gets them, it gets them. If it doesn't. Now, if a lead doesn't respond to your SMS message, you're also calling them. Are you?
It doesn't matter whether they respond to that SMS. I let the SMS do its job because that's what it's there for. It's there to save me some time. And great, if they respond to that, I can get a conversation going right away. If not, then I'm going to start the calling process. I have 4 filters that they go through.
Okay.
So
let's go through them real quick. So can you just take a look and show to everybody? So when Jim talks about call filters, we have filter number 1.
Yeah. So filter number 1 you can see that's anybody with unknown or valid phone numbers. Their pipeline's not set yet.
These
They're
are new
not
leads. Yeah.
new
So
leads.
these are leads
Or
that
tried to
probably,
contact. Yeah.
right. These are leads that Jim probably hasn't called yet. So what Jim does is, this is his number one thing. This is the leads that he calls immediately. If there's any leads in here, that means that he has not tried to make contact with them yet. That he's actually
Yes.
made.
I'm caught up on my calls. I try to stay, especially my filter ones. I try to stay updated on those. You know,
Right.
I don't hit all my filters every day, but
Yep.
I do hit my filter 1 every day and my filter 2 every day. Those
Yep.
ones are, I make sure I do those. And then if I run out of, now I'm not sure what happened here because those, the tags on this one, this is an unresponsive lead. I'm not sure why they showed up there because I've got tag all future unresponsive.
Right. So you actually say any here.
Any,
So what
okay.
happens, right?
So,
So when you have any,
because
hang
I
on,
just said
actually
that,
tag.
yeah.
No, tag. So no, you wanna make sure this actually crystal can help with this filter. I believe you don't want those to show up, right?
So none. Okay, gotcha.
Right. So you don't want those to show up if it has an unresponsive filter inside.
Okay.
Right.
So, and yeah, anyway, so those are, here's my filter 2s. I haven't called anybody on filter 2 yet today. And then filter 3, filter 3 is just people that I've got, if I have made 8 calls and I haven't got a response, then I push out the timeline on them a little bit. So I'm not
Right.
calling them all the time. Until I've done 8 calls, they're going to get one every couple of days. So,
Okay. And that's, so just to kind of give everybody a clear picture, because some people don't really understand that you could use our system in this manner. You can actually use the system to make sure that no lead slips through the cracks, meaning that even without setting a task, even without actually making sure you're overtasking yourself, you can actually say to the system, give me all the leads that I haven't at least called 8 times and that have at least an unknown or a valid number. I don't want to call those that have an invalid number, and where I haven't actually made contact with them yet. So give me all these leads. And also in this case, Jim has a tag that says last days. So he also says don't include leads if I've contacted them in the last 5 days. And then they've also been active in the last 30 days. So really, this list doesn't let any lead slip through his cracks, and he doesn't have to, go through a list of tasks. It's just that if the lead falls into that filter, it immediately becomes inside of that filter. So when I go back to this list on a daily basis, if there's leads in here, as soon as I make a call to that lead, as soon as I actually call that lead that day, it automatically goes out of that filter. And
when I started, the first time I started with AgentLocator, I didn't use filters, and I was constantly going through my database looking for stuff, and it's a lot of work. This is so easy. Like it's just you set them up, and once they're set, you trust they're going to do the job, and you just
Thank you.
follow.
Yeah, I know the system is really made. It's really made to help you nurture the leads and qualify them, and not have leads fall through the cracks. And it's really truly that easy. So the other nice thing with the system, for those of you that don't know, is there's a built-in dialer. So if I want to dial this lead and actually call them, when I call them through the system, if I speak to them or if I actually call them, they're automatically taken out of that filter because the system knows that I've attempted actually calling them that day. Okay, so I don't want to bore too many people with. If you guys have any questions, also while we're doing this, we'll try to answer questions as we go. I know there was one question from Gail for you, Jim. How much are you currently spending on Google Leads? What's your budget on Google at the moment?
250.
250. Yep. So it's 250 a month is included with our package. So at the 158.95 a month, we will manage for you up to 250 a month on Google. All right, thank you for that. Answered live. Perfect. We'll keep going on with some of the questions that I have. And then if you guys have questions that you want to ask, you could ask us right in the Q&A chat. Sometimes it's really hard for us to focus on the chat because they go quick. But if you want to ask those questions in Q&A, Jim can help answer those questions for everybody. So again, if we go to the process of what the current follow-up for Jim is, he will have a lead when it goes in. He'll have the SMS system send the message. If they respond and make contact, great. If they don't respond and make contact, Jim at least tries to call these leads at least 8 times before he gives up.
Well, I don't give up after 8, but
okay.
I just certainly change the amount of time I'm spending on those leads.
Right. And that's a
And
good point.
also, there's a couple of things I really like about Agent Locator
Okay.
that other systems I haven't seen. I haven't used a lot of other systems, but a few.
Yeah.
One is that as soon as somebody gets active after 30 days, I get an email. And so that really helps me. I rely on that because I know if someone gets active, I'm going to go back in and check them out to see what they're up to. And I don't have to worry about that. It's going to happen automatically. The other thing
Yeah.
is the phone number thing. If they don't put in a valid phone number, I get so many leads come back, put their valid phone number in, and then I can contact them.
So this is a
So
good point that Jim made. So I want to actually elaborate on that part as well. So this lead here is an example, came in yesterday. They looked at 13 properties on Jim's website. Let's actually go into it. They provided, when they signed up, they entered an invalid phone number. In fact, here the system tried to send them a message and it was invalid. And also when Jim gave them a call, he noticed it was an invalid number. Now, what our system does is it will keep getting them back to the website to look at new properties as they come out. But because Jim has marked that lead as an invalid phone number, when they go back to the website, our system pops out a form that says, hey, wait a second, you can't continue browsing. You've entered an invalid number. Please validate your phone number. Enter the phone number, and then they have to receive a text message to validate that number. So that is one way that what we really do is we hook them in by showing them they have the ability to browse through all the listings, do all the checks, whatever they want, and then we'll keep sending them new listings. But if they enter an invalid number, we need a valid number.
the
So
other thing that I do, Ado, is if they gave me an invalid number and they're not looking at leads, I leave it. I
I
don't
like
mark it
that.
valid.
If they don't look at
And so I
listings,
let them come in, I let them get committed to the system. So I'm waiting for them to get committed to the system before I'll mark their number invalid. Otherwise,
I love that.
if they're not committed to the system, they come in and say, oh, I need a valid number, I'll just use a different system.
They're
So,
gone. Yeah, they're
yeah.
gone. They're not coming back. And it's so funny because if you look at, for example, games, I'll take Zynga here as an example, or I'll take Candy Crush as an example. I'm sure lots of you played Candy Crush. They do an incredible job at reeling you in for free, completely free. And then once they get you playing that game constantly and you need more lives, they make millions off of people like that. So this is the same concept here, guys. It's the same concept. Let's get them addicted to our website so they're browsing through properties because it makes it easy for them to browse through things. We can see when they're active or not. And when they become active, then request that number to be checked because they're going to constantly show up on Jim's list. So if I go to Jim's list here, and if I say give me all the leads and sort them by activity, so show the most recently active first. Here's the lead here that was active 13 minutes ago, and I can check if the lead was active. Here's the lead was active 1 hour ago. And they have an invalid number. So it looks like Jim already marked them as invalid. They try to come back to the website. So that's a great point. I see most of your leads here have valid numbers that are actually active. So really glad that you're following that, and that's a really good.
That's a really amazing tool. It really is, because that's so many people don't give a valid number, but so many people after they start using the system will give you. People are honestly people. They try not to do too much work. I hate to use the word lazy, but when they're surfing, they do the minimum. So if they have to put their phone number in and they're not locked into the system, they're just going to move on.
Right.
So they need to be committed to using the system, because then that clicks in, well, I've always used this system. That's easy. I understand it. I'll give them my phone number.
Yeah. So got a question for you as well, because one of the things that you have currently with BombBomb is, are you currently using BombBomb where you're creating specific videos for each lead that comes in? Like, do you create a very custom video for each person?
I haven't done that, and that's all part of my community building. That
Okay.
I'm really kind of just getting started at this. I've only been doing it a couple of months, so there's always things to do to tweak to make it better.
Sure.
And I've already thought of that to try to segment my BombBomb list a little better. Right now, everybody comes into BombBomb gets my monthly email, video email update on the market,
Yeah.
plus a newsletter that goes out every month. And in that newsletter, I have a Bank of Montreal mortgage specialist that I work with. He does open houses with me, works with me quite closely. And so I always have the mortgage rates from Bank of Montreal in that email, and other things I want
Right.
to.
Yeah.
Another thing I do for marketing is I don't know if people have seen Smart Agents, but I use the Smart Agents book. So I have a book that's published on buying. I give that out at my open houses, and I also have a link to that on that site. and that brings me leads as well. So
Right.
it's just, the more sources of leads you have, the better. And if by changing my attitude about what a lead is, uh, like I said, I was very transactional. By going away from that being transactional and going to community building, it's changed my attitude.
Right.
And and it's already starting to pay off. I'm making connections. I've got people who are following me, and it's made a difference. Now,
Yeah.
has it actually turned into business? I've got maybe, I think, one transaction through this system, but like I said, I've only been doing a couple months. I think 6 to 8 months down the road is when it's really going to pay off. And
Right.
by that time, of course, COVID-19 will be over, and I'll have been building my business all that time. I don't, COVID-19 has certainly slowed down transactions, but it hasn't slowed down my business, because my business isn't just transactions. It's about building community. It's about servicing the clients I have now, and it's about creating that legacy around my business. So,
Right.
so those are things I'm all working on.
So speaking of the actual COVID-19, so ever since COVID-19, one of the things that was intriguing to me that you said that you made a lot more connections. It needed less number of calls to get the leads to actually respond, because obviously they are all home.
People
But
are
tell us a
home.
little bit about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, tell us about the actual, what are the conversations like, and how are they different from typically how leads are when they're coming in?
I do get a lot of people say, "Oh, well, we're just looking," and I say, "Well, what are you looking for?" So you can take them into a conversation. I think people have more time, right?
Right.
You can. My conversations are longer right now than they were before COVID-19, but I can take that time. I have time to do that. So
Yep.
I'm having longer conversations with people. We're going a little deeper, and I don't know. I just think that people are certainly by their phone a lot more than they used to be.
Yeah, so the conversations, and that's something that we've noticed inside of our system as well. When we track the number of calls and the length of calls, has gone up for these new leads that are coming in. So it's not the typical length of call of an internet lead. So definitely thank you for confirming that one as well. Um, when it comes to, so one of the questions was also with respect to the actual BombBomb video. So when the lead comes in, do you have BombBomb set up like a generic video that you've set up that has an introduction of yourself? Are you sending a generic video and introduction into BombBomb, or just your weekly or monthly newsletters that you're sending out?
No, I just do my monthlies.
Okay.
However, there is something that I do that a lot of agents should be doing.
Okay.
And there is a system called, um, I can't remember the name of the system. I'll come up with it. But anyway, it is, it creates banner ads, and you can cookie your pages so
Okay.
that people get banner ads. So
Yeah.
I do everything through my own website. I
Right.
always push traffic through my own website. All my pages are cookied.
Yep.
So that
So it's like,
if someone comes to my website, they're cookied for that banner ad. And that banner ad, those things follow them wherever they go.
everywhere.
Like even major, like ctv.ca, CBC,
Yep.
this company covers it all. So whenever they go to those websites, if they've been to my site recently and they open up a page on ctv.ca, my banner ad's there, and
Yep.
they see things again. So it just keeps me in front of people.
Yep.
Uh,
So what you're referring to there is tag marketing. So tag
yeah,
marketing is yeah, it's actually done. We do the tag marketing, and I'm not sure it's actually you have it with us, or yeah, you have. You actually don't have it with us. You have it with somebody else. But hey, either way, it works. Tag
it's
marketing is
really
essentially,
inexpensive. It really, for what you get for it, it's not very expensive.
absolutely. Yeah, we offer it for I think $40 a month when you have our website, and we essentially follow all your visitors around. So essentially, whoever comes to your site. The nice thing with this is, especially with internet leads, we have the ability to tag only those that have actually registered if you want, or we can tag everybody who comes. And then what it really happens is, while you're trying to contact these people on the phone, they're seeing your ads everywhere they go. And I literally mean everywhere they go. So, they
It's
go to
funny
like,
because
yeah,
I have agents in my office who they'll go to my website to check something out, and then all of a sudden I'm advertising wherever they are.
Yeah.
They go, Jim, you're everywhere. Your advertising's everywhere. And I go, yeah, I'm working hard and spend lots of money. Yeah.
Yeah, and the general, thought process for individual person as well is that, hey, if this guy's spending so much money, he must be a big agent, and that's just the psychological aspects of things. So it's definitely something that helps with the conversion process as well.
It's pennies per exposure
Yeah.
for those banner ads. Just
Yep.
it's pennies.
Absolutely. There was a question by Bill. Bill asked, "What is BombBomb?" BombBomb is a website that allows you, or a service that allows you to create a video on the fly. So I could literally, if I want to respond to Jim as an email and respond to him with a video, I could actually pop out my BombBomb app, record myself, hit send, and then Jim is going to receive that email as a video embedded into the email. It's really quick to get set up. There is another one, actually, QuickPage.io, that has come out not too long ago. And I'm sure to answer your question on QuickPage is also a pretty good service. Some of our clients have started using it. We do have Zapier. So our system has Zapier integration. So if QuickPage has Zapier as well, I believe they have Zapier, but it's in the development stages currently. We can connect and we can communicate just like we do with BombBomb. So that's what BombBomb is. It's a video service that allows you to create really quick videos on the fly.
Yeah, and BombBomb lets you send out video emails to an email list as well. So what happens when someone comes into Agent Locator for me, they automatically get put into BombBomb, and then from BombBomb, I have Zapier that zaps them into my database, and I use Pipedrive. So just automatically zaps them into Pipedrive, and then not only do I track leads in Agent Locator, if I have a lead that I've already set up a search for them and a search portal in MLS,
right,
then they automatically I start using Pipedrive with them and track them through Pipedrive.
Yep. That's a past lead client. So if you have somebody that's client and they've been using Pipedrive or Top Producer or any system out there, it's always a good idea that once you actually make a connection with a client, that you take them out of the lead database and put them into your client database, so you can kind of follow up with that. To answer the question on better ask the question, do we set up banner ads? So our tag marketing ads, we have a bunch of different ads that we can help set up for you. And you can choose from really an option of ads that we have for those of you that want to do tag marketing. That is definitely something we can do.
Yeah, the thing about tag marketing is that just puts your face in front of people all the time. Like I've always been taught, you want to be the agent standing in front of somebody when they make a decision. And so it's good that they see your face all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that reason, so one of the things, I'm not sure, Jim, that you're using this tool a lot currently, but one of the functionalities we have, which is our Nosy Neighbor landing page. The Nosy Neighbor landing page allows you to set up your clients so they receive listings wherever they live. So imagine if you live, I'm going to put our address here from the office, but if you have a client that lives in this area and a new listings come out in that area, we want to automatically notify that client of that new listing and what it's sold for. If we have the sold data in Toronto, we have the sold data. In other areas, we have the sold data. So if we have the sold data, then we want to notify them what it's sold for as well. Now, just to give you guys the psychological thing of what happens here when you have this set up for a client, and we hear this all the time. So I live here on the street, and all of a sudden I see that for sale sign go up in the neighborhood. What's the first thing I'm thinking when I see that for sale sign? I want to know what it's selling for and what does it look like inside. And why? Because it affects my own value of my own property. Now, when you have this set up for a client, the moment that for sale sign goes up, they're going to start thinking about you. The reason being is they get used to them sending the actual listing. So as soon as that listing goes up, Jim is going to send me the actual property, so I'm going to know what it's selling for, which is great. So the client thinks of you at the most crucial time that you can have them think of you, which is when they think about real estate. So the Nosy Neighbor tool, of all tools, if you guys are not using it, you definitely have to start getting to use it. So let me go back to, there were some other questions from Julie. Do you farm a specific area with online leads? So I want to answer a part of that question when it comes to internet lead generation in general. You as an agent, the bigger the area you target, the easier it is to get leads. So cost per lead is lower when you target a little bit of a bigger area. So for example, if you target Etobicoke as an example in our area is a great place. It's smaller, but it's decent size. Sometimes agents choose to target Toronto. Toronto has a very low cost per lead, but the problem with Toronto is that it could be anywhere. The lead could really be anywhere. But Jim, what are you currently doing? Are you doing it?
I digitally farm 8 postal codes. So what I do is I use Facebook, and I advertise to those postal codes only, but information advertising, for example, I'll write a blog post. Let's see, what's my most popular one? I wrote a blog post that was titled, something you should not do when you renovate your home. The one thing you should not do when you renovate your home. And so that blog post was incredibly popular. So somebody comes in, they click on that, they go to my blog. First of all, they get cookie because they're going to my website and they're getting my banner ad. Then I'm re-advertised to everybody who clicked on that. So in Facebook, you can do that, right? You can set up an ad to start marketing to people who clicked on your link. So now what I'm doing is I'm creating a community within Facebook that I continue to advertise to. So instead of me going out and sending out flyers and putting out bus benches and doing all those things, I'm spending my money on Facebook advertising, creating a community within Facebook of people who see my face a lot, and I'm in front of them quite a bit.
Yeah, no, that's honestly one of the digital farming concepts. We do have webinars where we teach our clients on how to actually use Facebook and how to set up Facebook ads. Many times they don't know how to properly do it. But for those of you, if you have a farm area, so for example, a postal code that you're typically farming by newspapers or by print media, you can actually do the same thing on Facebook and target, let's say, a very specific postal code. And what's even nicer in Facebook is I can say I only want to show the ads to people that are above a certain age. So I don't want the kids to see the ads where, what happens now when that kid picks up that mail? It's going in the garbage. I mean, they don't care about the property. They know this is spam mail, this is junk mail, so they're throwing it out. But on Facebook, the kids won't even see that. So it's only the, who you specify should see that. And I really like what you did there, Jim, with the ad itself. The ad wasn't really about real estate, about, hey, look at me, I'm an agent, buy a home. The ad is about the people and what they're doing, which is they are thinking about renovation. Here's 4 things that you should never do when you're doing a renovation. So I really like what you did there.
Yeah, I do have a very small percentage of my follow-up ads that are just a banner ad with me, with a quote from one of my clients, that I send out, but it's a very small percentage of my advertising. Most of my Facebook posts are information, just information for people.
I'll give you guys one really cool hint, deep diving for downsizers. So a lot of times agents want to advertise to downsizers. They want to find people that are looking to downsize for their property, and a lot of times they try to figure out different targeting marketing kind of tactics to do that. Here's one really cool way that you can do that. On Facebook, you guys know the average age of an area that currently where it's a higher age, and they're typically going to be downsizing to a property. So your ad on Facebook to that area should be something like, here's 3 things every downsizer needs to know. And your first ad is a video. Is a video about maybe 2 minutes long, and the video is essentially telling them the 3 things that every downsizer needs to know. You guys know what those are. You guys know when it comes to real estate what they are. Then that ad has 0 call to action. You're not actually asking that person to do anything other than what you're doing here is you're establishing a list of those people that watch that video. So on Facebook, what you can do afterwards is say, from all these people that have seen this ad, I want to create a list of only those that have watched this video at least 90%, right? Now, think about it. Is somebody who is not looking to downsize going to sit there and watch 2-minute video? No, they're not going to sit there and watch a 2-minute video if they're not looking to downsize. So we could probably fairly estimate to say, of those people that have watched at least 90% of the video, they're probably all downsizers, right? So if we have now an ad to those people to say, I want to advertise to those people. And my ad now is going to be, here's 3 properties that every downsizer wants to get into. And that's your call to action, get their contact information. We're going to send them those properties. So that's one way to kind of deep dive into downsizers. And we're moving this conversation into something that we never started. It's, I'm really bad at it. I start these things all the time. Sorry,
Well,
guys.
I think what it is that the to run a real estate business, it's multidimensional. Lead generation is a very important part of creating community, but there's so much more to the business than just bringing leads in and following up. I mean, you have to do more. You have to do more in order to be in front of people,
Right.
in order to close that lead. And
Yeah.
Agent Locator is a wonderful system. It's bringing people in. The cost per lead is relatively inexpensive. I've gone out and tried to do it myself. I told you that before. It's time consuming and it's expensive. And it's not just expensive in cost, it's expensive in time.
Right.
I can use Agent Locator. I can get just as many leads, takes me way less time, and I can use that time in other places. I'm doing other things, right? And I have a development project on the go. I have other things. I have
Yeah.
grandchildren. I have other things to do. So I can't spend all my time doing real estate.
Yeah, definitely. No, I appreciate that. And you know what? Like I said last time, you know, if you do more of what you do, and you let us do what we do really well, then you'll do a lot more of what you do, and we'll do a lot more of what we do too. There was a few other questions here that I want to answer. Just Sharon was asking Jim, tell us approximately how much you're spending monthly on getting leads. So Jim already mentioned it. Jim is currently spending $250 a month on Google to get the leads. So then there was another question, from the 250 a month budget, what's Jim average number of leads and transactions per month? So how many leads are you currently, can I actually pull it up in the CRM for how many leads you got in the month of April?
Yeah, sure. Go
Okay,
ahead.
you
Go
guys are
ahead.
still seeing my screen, so I'm going to pull up, give me all the leads that registered this month as an example. So there was 46 leads that registered this month so far, and we still have 2 days left in the month. So the $250 budget that Jim has generated 46 leads now. The cost per lead right now is actually lower than it was ever before. There's a lot less people advertising, so we're getting more leads for a smaller budget, and that is the 46 leads. Now, to answer the question, Sarah, with respect to how many conversions you're going to have, you're typically not converting more than maybe 1% of the leads you get on an annual basis in your first year. We have seen clients have converted more. We've seen some people that have converted less. It really depends on what your follow-up process is like. But Jim, what's your current conversion rate on internet leads in general? You've been doing it for 10
Like
years.
I said, I've just really started doing this, changing my attitude, going to this community thing. Before that, it was about 1 to 2%.
Right.
My goal is 5%.
That's awesome.
I honestly believe I can convert 5% of my leads if I keep them in a community.
Right.
I keep them, my face in front of them. I can convert 5%. That's my goal.
That's a very that's a really good goal. I can tell you that I know some people that are doing it, and I truly hope that you do. Let's do this. We're gonna set up a call with you 7 months from now. By the end of, let's say, end of this year, and let's find out how many you've converted, and we'll play back this part of the conversation just before we do that
We
video. So.
got to get through COVID-19 first before we get too excited about that.
Well, I heard Quebec. So we've got Quebec that's sending their kids back to school May 11th. So if they know something that we don't, we'll see. We'll see what's happening. And I also do. I was watching a video, and sorry to make this about COVID. I truly never. I don't intend to make things about COVID because there's so much talk about COVID. But I was listening to so New York State had ordered 30,000 ventilators, and apparently they used only 5 so far. So the need for ventilators doesn't seem to be there either. So I'm not sure really where this headed or what's going on, but I think we'll find out in the next month or so what's going to really happen and how fast we might be able to get out of this. So hopefully good stuff. So I think we've answered these questions here. We've answered that question here. If there's, did I miss any questions, Crystal, from the chat or from Facebook? Did we have any questions? You're muted.
I am muted.
There you
So
go.
I have been answering them directly to them
Okay,
because
good.
a lot of them are just, simple, or they need training or help, or what have you. Facebook, I've been answering those questions as well.
Great.
There's just one I'm waiting on, Zevdit. I'm not sure if you have the answer. Is somebody is just asking if we have any plans or future plans of creating a feature similar to BombBomb within the CRM where they'll be able to share video, create and share video.
It is something that we've been looking at. It is something that I truly have a belief for. I think video is huge. The main reason why we haven't done it yet is primarily because there's so many good services already that do a great job. Another one just came out not too long ago. QuickPage is even less expensive than BombBomb. So that's one of the reasons why we haven't really fully done it. For those of you that want to automate sending a video to your clients, you already can do that with our system. We can embed a video into your email as long as you're not changing that video constantly. So if the idea is as soon as a lead comes in that we want an automated email going out to them that's welcoming them to the website in a generic basis, you can already do that. You don't need another service for that. But it's
I
for
didn't
the
know you could do that, so I'm going to hook that up. I like that idea.
absolutely, yeah. So in your settings, what we have the ability to do, I'll take the clients here as well through a quick template editor. Actually, you don't have it in here, but when your SMS message goes out, for example, we have the ability. I've opened up one of your leads here. You've had a communication with by SMS. But what we have the ability to do is after, let's say, this SMS is executed, it can also send them a video as well in the email of yourself embedded fully. You just need to provide us with the actual video itself, and it needs to be on YouTube. That's all that we need. So we've answered those questions. I've really asked the primary questions that I wanted to ask Jim when it comes to some of the stuff. There was actually Jim has been with AgentLocator for 10 years. How successful? So Wesley Monroe. So Jim has not been with He has not been with us actually for 10 years.
Couple months.
Jim, yeah, Jim only started with us 2 months ago, and I really wanted to get Jim on from a perspective of really talking about what he's done before and how our system has made his life easier from a filtering perspective. He also mentioned that he didn't have the ability to do these things before. By using the filters, it's going to make his life a lot easier. And this is a great example, Jim, when there's 5,000 leads in the system. You currently have only 104, but we have many, many, many clients who have 5, 10, 20,000 leads inside the system, and there's no way that you can follow up with that many leads without a proper system. You do have to have a system in place to be able to follow up with the quantity of leads. And let's not forget, guys, internet leads are about quantity. They're not about quality. They will never be about quality. You're never going to be able to extract 15 leads and close 10 transactions out of those 15 leads from internet leads. This is not going to happen. Internet leads are about quantity, and we're trying to get through that quantity as fast as we can to get to the few that are actually good. So, Wesley, I hope that answers your question. Wesley Monroe, Jim is from my office. So, Jim, you're in
Hi,
Wesley.
Wesley.
Yes, awesome. Harbinger, when are you integrating QuickPage Auto? So Harbinger, you can already integrate QuickPage with Zapier. So as long as QuickPage has Zapier, you can already have it already fully integrated. So that's already available. And for those of you, so if you, just so you guys know how to use Zapier. So Zapier, if you go and search for, in this case, let's say AgentLocator, we show up in Zapier. Any system that you want to integrate AgentLocator with, you can search for that system here, and as long as they have it, it's integratable. Means that we can pass leads to it. They can receive leads from us, and this is already built in. Like contacts, Google Contacts, Mojo, ManyChat. They have Follow Up Boss, 1,000,001 of these integrations really set up.
It's a real time saver. Real time saver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I hope that I've answered all the questions. And Jim, I truly want to thank you for your time. Crystal, unless there's any other questions or any other things that you want to put up.
No, there was one comment by Susan Giacomo, I hope I said that right, saying that, what do you mean by using a community? And I'm not sure if she's referring to the ads or what have you.
She's probably referring to building community. And so I talked about that at the beginning. My client journey, the journey clients take through my system, has 3 parts. It has, I build community, provide service, and then create a legacy. The legacy being trying to create promoters of my business once they've transacted with me. So the first stage is building community. And leads from AgentLocator are leads that they come into my system, and the priority is not to transact. The priority is to bring them into my community and have them be part of my marketing so that I'm the agent in front of them when they make the decision to transact. So I'm building community. I'm not looking for transactions. I'm building community.
And this is an important thing with internet leads, knowing that they're not quality leads from the perspective that they're not going to come in today and convert today. Internet leads are generally people who've just started their buying process. They just started looking for property. You know, when you really think about it, what the heck is somebody going to Google searching for homes for sale in whatever area? Most of them are at the very, very beginning stage of that buying process. So this is where that community starts. This is where we start to build that community by actually creating that communication with them and having that discussion. That is truly what it is. There's another question here.
Internet leads are a year out or more. They just really decided they're going to start looking to see what's there.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Awesome. Any other questions you guys have when it comes to the system? Honestly, support at agentlocator.ca is your best friend. Also our Facebook group, we are doing a lot of webinars to help you guys understand the system, get to use the system, and we want to help you as much as possible to get to that point. And I really appreciate everybody's time. Jim, I truly appreciate your time. And that would be it for this webinar, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Set up the filters. Save yourself some time.
Yes,
Yeah.
set up the filters.
I put the link for training in there. So a lot of the filters are the initial filters that Jim has in his system are ones that we would actually help you set up on a training. So I've put the link in there. You can schedule training. Our trainers will help you set that up and kind of go through and walk you through how they all work and kind of get you on the path of having a more organized CRM system. So
Awesome.
Feel free to schedule yourself in.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you for that, Jim. Really appreciate it once again. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Awesome.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.